Liberals are still entitled to their entitlements. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. International Trade Minister Minister Freeland, she used to live the high life as a minor media celebrity in the United States. She was once a mucky-muck for Reuters, helped drive one of their online divisions into the ground before joining politics. But before she traded in the Manhattan high life for the life of a Canadian politician, Freeland was a regular guest on all the best left-wing American media outlets like MSNBC or Bill Maher's program on HBO. And it seems she misses that. For a long time, she actually, after getting elected, did more interviews with American media than Canadian. And that's continuing in a way. She recently billed you and I, the taxpayers of Canada, more than $20,000 for a vanity trip to Los Angeles to go see her buddy Maher. I know this has already been out there. The Conservatives have asked questions about it in the House, and the Liberals have said nothing to it. She was there on this program because she was already visiting LA, and she was invited on, rather than she was invited on and then found an excuse to touch base with some people. Well, now we have the notes and emails about that trip, courtesy of an access to information request. And I can tell you, Freeland owes us all a refund. I think the reaction to her trip to LA is best summed up by a bureaucrat who, well, asked a pointed question that no one else dared when suddenly the minister's travel schedule had to change and she had to get on a commercial flight from Manila in the Philippines rather than fly back on the Prime Minister's jet. Everything had to be hastily arranged. In the middle of this, one bureaucrat, probably one soon to be demoted and shuffled off, simply asked why. Here's the exchange from Charles Mosage. He's the Director General of Strategic Communications in the department for now. He wrote, "Why? What is she doing in LA besides the Bill Maher show?" I love the double question mark at the end. It really tells you so much about his thinking. Despite Freeland's best efforts, including ordering her staff to simply refer to the Maher event as a private event, we know the truth about it. The documents here, the document release does show that Minister Freeland, while taking part in the APEC summit in Manila last November, was invited on the Bill Maher show. Now, rather than say, sorry, can't make it traveling back from an important trade summit, she had her team scramble. They worked overtime, odd hours to get her and her staffers on expensive flights to LAX from Manila, foregoing the free flight back to Ottawa on the government jet. Now, she then had them make up a reason for her to be in LA. Freeland and her government defenders have said, well, she was there to meet with Angus King. He's a Democratic Party senator from Maine. You know Maine, that's the eastern U.S. state tucked just below New Brunswick, nowhere near Los Angeles. So why were they meeting in LA? Ostensibly to discuss the Trans-Pacific Partnership. The real reason is because Angus King was a guest on the Bill Maher show as well, something the bureaucrats eventually clued into when HBO tweeted out the fact they were all on the show together. It's laughable to think that Freeland was claiming that the HBO event was just something she did while in LA, and that she was really there to meet industry leaders and push Canada's trade agenda. An email dated November 18th, the day before she's scheduled to arrive in LA, shows her staff desperately trying to fill her schedule with meetings, breakfasts, lunches. The list of proposed guests and proposed sites gives it all away. She set up this trip on November 14th. Everything else, the breakfast meetings, the luncheons, the crashing of a BC government event that was already scheduled, all of that came after. So did the attempts to have Canadian media or American media interested in Canada write about the minister, a flurry of emails looking for reporters that might do a nice piece. In fact, perhaps the best email to show that this was all set up after the fact so that Freeland could go see her old buddy and be on his TV show is this one here. Mint, that's the minister, is tentatively scheduled to fly to LA on Thursday night on her way back from APEC. She will be in LA all day Friday and is putting together a draft program for her. Elements might include a roundtable with local contacts, a meeting with a Canadian company, and participation in an event that is co-hosted with BC. On Friday night, Mint will appear on Real Time with Bill Maher for an interview. She has apparently appeared on his show regularly in the past. Look, if Freeland wants to go on Real Time with Bill Maher, I don't care. I really don't. But could she, A, do it in a way that doesn't cost the taxpayers an extra $20,000 for vanity flights, that doesn't require staff to work overtime and to invent a reason for her to be there, one that doesn't require the minister to lie? Oh, and by the way, that all-important meeting with Senator King, part of the reason for her travel, it took place backstage at HBO. We found that out in the documents as well. As the saying goes in politics, it isn't the crime that makes you look bad. It's the cover-up.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.